The Guianas may just be the strangest region on Earth. Despite being located in the northeast corner of South America and bordering Brazil and Venezuela, they're...
Ever wondered where Mexico falls on the map? Well, let me tell you, Mexico is actually part of North America. That's right, North America includes Mexico, the United States, Canada, and more.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
So, you know what? Let's take a look of the real Guyana. I mean, we have to look at the history because every country has a history. It's not like YouTubers, a lot of YouTubers who go there and it's all for the views, not the reality. It's all for the views. So, you know, showing a one-sided view that will get them the attention, the likes and the comments to make the money is what it's for. I'm not monetized, and my whole thing with my experiences there, because I was there in February, and weirdly enough, I'll also tell you about what I've seen, even from February, 6 months ago, how it's even changed. And my experiences. But you know what? Let's take it back and let's go back, because honestly, even my cousins who've never been have this idea of what Guyana is like. and they see it from the eyes of our parents about the time they grew up in it. And also, I had this YouTuber who says, well, I should know about Guyanese culture. Well, I would welcome him into my family's, get-togethers, and it's very different. Even when I spoke to a couple of Guyanese people who were the older generation on my last visit, which I just came back a couple of days ago, they even said, yeah, your parents are from a totally different era, and Guyana is not the same as it was then. But anyways, let's take a look.
World attention focuses on Georgetown, the elegant and spacious capital of British Guiana, as the British government takes action to halt the growth of communism in the country. At his residence, the governor, Sir Alfred Savage, here with his wife, directs the maintenance of law and order in the country, now that the Constitution has been suspended. In the harbour, ships of Her Majesty's Navy ride at anchor, and Guyanese children stare with wonder at this new sight. The frigate Burhead Bay assisted in rushing troops to the spot, among them the 1st Battalion, the Welsh Fusiliers. Immediately the tense situation came to a head. Helping the governor in his task is Brigadier Jackson. Now he assists in the first major move since Prime Minister Jagan was relieved of power. Troops prepare for a raid on the headquarters of the People's Progressive Party, of which Jagan is the leader. Immediately they arrive, troops block all entrances to Regent Street as police move into the party building. At the same time, other forces are raiding the homes of all ministers of the sacked government. From the headquarters, papers and pamphlets are removed for closer scrutiny by police authorities, and a portrait of Stalin goes with them as evidence. The British government claims that such strict measures have been taken to forestall a threatened red-directed revolt in Guyana, and names Dr. Jagan and his wife as among the ringleaders. Mrs. Jagan was born in America. Her 35-year-old husband is an Indian. These two, say the Colonial Office, have strengthened their links with Moscow since the doctor came to power, and have used the People's Progressive Party to spread the communist doctrine through the British colony they adopted as their home.
So one thing, because I'm just learning now a lot of things myself and investigating. One thing I hear a lot, and this is from Guyanese of different backgrounds, there is a claim that the British actually worked to place Burnham in power, which is really interesting and ironic considering there's so much hate with the younger Afro-Guyanese to the British. So I asked ChatGPT to explain it more to me. It goes, yes, there's a substantial documentary evidence behind that claim. The important nuance is that the United States was the driving force in the covert anti-Jagan operation, while Britain, as the colonial power controlling British Guyana's constitution and independence process, made crucial decisions that helped create the circumstances in which Forbes Burnham took power. It's what happened. It says Jetty Jagan's PPP repeatedly won elections in 1953, 57, and 61 during the Cold War. However, both Washington and London became deeply concerned about Jagan's left-wing politics and the possibility that an independent Guyana under Jagan could move towards Cuba or the Soviet bloc. Declassified American documents showed that by 1962, the U.S. government had decided Jagan was unacceptable as a leader of an independent Guyana. One of the most important developments was the electoral process. Britain imposed proportional representation for the 1964 election. A later CIA assessment explicitly stated that PR had been imposed by Britain and that this electoral arrangement enabled Burnham's PNC to come to power in coalition with Peter Dagwar's, I hope I pronounced his name right, United Force. The Americans were even more directly involved. Declassified U.S. records acknowledged that the CIA supplied Burnham's PNC and Dagwar's United Force with money and campaign expertise, including assistance aimed at registering voters likely to oppose Jagan. Now, let's take a look at this.
Into London Airport comes the man around whom revolves the grave situation in British Guiana. Dr. Chedi Jagan, the deposed Prime Minister of the colony, is here to protest against the government's claim that he and his American-born wife led a plot to make Guyana a communist-controlled state. While reading a prepared statement on the situation, Jagan has Mr. Lyndon Burnham, chairman of the People's Progressive Party, by his side.
We were shocked and still are at a loss to understand the action of the British government in sending military and naval forces to British Guiana, in suspending the constitution and dismissing the democratically elected ministers of the government.
Dr. Jagan, who is claimed to have received instructions from behind the Iron Curtain and consorted with communists, has this to say about the accusation.
I have been only once, and that is with the youth festival. That's all the connections I have behind the Iron Curtain.
Commenting on allegations that he sympathizes with the Mau Mau, Dr. Jagan says,
Mau Mau is a terrorist organization. We do not support terrorism. But I would say that the people in Kenya, as in other parts, have their problems, many problems which have been created by British imperialism, and these problems will have to be settled.
I've got on my list a Barbara Curtis, who gives this address as her address.
Never heard of a woman of that name.
How long have you been here?
About 15 years.
Anyone live upstairs?
No, nobody.
In this World in Action film, made in 1968, we annoyed Mr. Burnham by checking on the 40,000 Guyanese voters he claimed were living overseas in England. The film showed that the vast majority of these Guyanese, supposedly alive and well in the back streets of Britain, just didn't exist. They'd been invented. Despite our report, these invisible voters later appeared in the ballot boxes of Guyana in large enough numbers to give the Prime Minister a working majority.
Come in front, comrades, come in front, come in front! Come on, comrades, come on, come on! So that the leader can see those faces, those happy faces, those PNC faces.
Last week, Mr. Burnham went to the polls again. Since 1968, Forbes Burnham has become a considerable statesman among leaders of the Third World, who recently conferred in Guyana. He talks the language of black power.
Let me hear you give a cheer for the comrade leader as he comes on. Louder than that, comrades, louder!
Though helped to power by America's CIA, Mr. Burnham has recently taken a sharp left turn to establish links with Russia, Cuba and China and nationalize some foreign-owned industry.
The future of generations yet unborn.
Mr. Burnham's problem is that he's black, and so are most of his party. Unfortunately for these descendants of African slaves imported by the British, they're outnumbered by the brown descendants of Indian laborers, also imported by the British to this small South American country. Guyana is isolated between Venezuela and Brazil on the northwest corner of the continent. The Indians, opposed to Burnham, have just over half the population, and they're increasing faster than the Africans. The black Guyanese make up some 30% of the country and provide Mr. Burnham's electoral base. The rest are of mixed or European descent or belong to the original Amerindian tribes of the interior. To check on Mr. Burnham's change of heart, World in Action got possession of the new lists of Guyanese registered to vote and said to be living in England. These were compiled about 6 months ago. The first signs were promising. The number of Guyanese said to be in Britain had been reduced from 40,000 last time to 18,000, a total just about in line with the recent British census. Perhaps this time Mr. Burnham was playing it straight. But our first experiences in London raised some doubts.
Yes.
Do you live next door to this house they're pulling down?
That's correct. I live in here.
I'm looking for Mr. Eric Nightingale. Did he ever live there?
No, not 15 years. I've been living here 15 years.
Does Peggy Bennett live here?
No.
Has she ever lived here?
Not that I know of, no.
No, not to my knowledge. Well, not in this particular part of the street.
Not since 1935, anyway.
Can you tell me, does Maurice Phillips live here?
No.
Or Oliver Phillips?
No.
Or Pauline Phillips?
No.
Or Robert Phillips?
They're very different.
Excuse me, we're looking at 23 Road Street.
Well, it was here about 2 years back, but the road's been cut off with corrugated iron, and it's just erected new flats.
How long ago was that?
About 2 years.
From the official lists, we took 550 names and addresses of voters in London, Birmingham and Manchester. First we checked 350 in London. We found that less than a third were genuine. Sunwell Street in Peckham has been closed off for a year and the houses demolished. And here, where number 2 used to be, nurse Joyce Duncan is still supposed to live and vote. Many of the London addresses were being converted by building firms. At 8 Balham Park Road, Horace Lynch was listed.
This was 8 Balham Park Road.
Yes, Governor, I shall carry on working. This was 8 or 9, 10 Balham Road, indeed.
I see. When was it vacated? When
That's
people last
difficult to
lived here?
say. Over a year ago.
It was well over a year ago.
Definitely.
Oh, I see. Okay, thanks very much indeed.
Well, you're not going away just yet. What's your telephone number?
Out of every 10 names on the overseas list in London, 3 proved to be genuine, a bit more than last time. So to underpin our London survey, we checked another 200 names in Birmingham and Manchester. And it was in Birmingham that we got conclusive proof that Mr. Burnham's men were at it again. Only 2% of the addresses sampled were found to be genuine. Any thought that Mr. Burnham might have employed more subtle methods this time was soon dispelled.
Is this 104 Antrobus Road?
Yeah.
Does a Mr. Geoffrey Baker live here?
No, I've never heard of him.
So there's nobody called Price here at the moment?
No.
From Guyana?
No.
Birmingham had its own special fraud. 29% of the streets and houses named did not exist at all. Here in demolished Camden Street, where John Hales is listed, we found a burst water main and a factory. In Manchester, we got a sense of how one overseas vote fiddle was done. Many of the people on Mr. Burnham's lists here did exist. The only problem was that they were Jamaicans, not Guyanese. However, some of Mr. Burnham's fixers at least have a sense of humour. We went looking for Raymond Gray, listed as a fitter, and Beverly Lawrence, a clerk.
Mrs. Gray, this is 356 William Kent Crescent in New York.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from Jamaica.
Do you know how you got onto the Guyana voting list? Because
No.
we have your name here, you see.
No, I don't know.
No. Now, Stanley Gray, according to this, is a farmer. Is that right? Is he still a farmer?
Oh, well, he couldn't do farming here now. He's working in a factory.
Can you tell me about Raymond Gray? He's described as a fitter. Do you know how old is he?
All I know about Raymond, he's only 6-year-old.
And it's just that's Raymond there, yeah?
Yeah, this is Raymond.
So you don't know how he got on the list at all?
No.
And he hasn't voted in the election?
Oh, can he vote? Could he vote? He's too small to vote anyway. He's only 6.
Is that Beverly?
Yes, it's Beverly.
That's Beverly Lawrence?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 7 months.
7 months?
Yeah.
Did you know she's down on the Guyanese election list?
No.
She's actually down here with a vote to vote in Guyana. She's a separate...
No, I didn't know.
Do you know how else she could have got on the list?
I don't know, no idea at all.
Are you from Guyana?
No, Jamaica.
The fixers were also ingenious. Jamaicans in Manchester told us that 2 months ago they'd been offered free land in Guyana, but those who applied had to fill in forms, giving their addresses and the names of wives and all children. Suddenly, all these Jamaican names turned up on the overseas voting list for Guyana. One Jamaican joined in the spirit of the thing and actually voted. Fred Finlayson.
How many people voted from this house?
3.
3? There are 8 down here. There are 8 people living here.
8 with kids, yes.
Oh, 8 with kids? Yes. So some of your children might be on this list?
Yes.
But you only had 3 votes?
Yes.
Why did you vote in the Guyana elections?
Well, I expect to go there, you know.
You expect to go to Guyana?
Yeah.
But you are a Jamaican?
Yes.
You think that's okay to vote in the Guyana elections?
Makes no difference.
But what difference does it make? In 1968, the fake overseas vote gave Mr. Burnham a working majority. This time, there were 33,000 overseas voters. In Canada, there were 3,000 Guyanese registered to vote. Next was the United States, which had 7,000 on the list. but the biggest single group was in Britain, which had 18,000 people registered. It wasn't just Jagan's party that complained of fraud. Dr. G. Kumar is the leader of the Conservative Liberator Party.
Well, the main thing, the theme running through the entire election procedure really is one of fraud. This has occurred at various levels. There were people who were dead who voted. There were people who went to vote who had never signed any proxy forms, who had never signed any postal vote forms. And yet when they turned up to vote, they were told that they had already voted by post. When these people would complain, some of them were just sent off. Some of them were allowed to sign a tendered ballot. A tendered ballot is a colored paper which they would sign. It's mainly to give satisfaction to the voter because it's not counted at the end of the day.
And Mr. Burnham's former Minister of Home Affairs, Llewellyn John, leading another small Conservative party, was also worried.
Well, to some extent, fraud is not necessarily fraud, but it can lead to fraud. In other words, as I said, any system of elections is subject to manipulation, fraudulent manipulation. And if you have the methods which are so weak, particularly when you control the election machine, it will naturally lead to some measure of fraud.
The ultimate insult for Mr. John was the appearance of his own parents as postal voters. They both died 2 years ago. As election day wore on, the opposition offices were swamped by people complaining of being cheated.
All around they're watching me, the constable and the other girls, and all of them see what happened.
He didn't tell you why he's putting it?
No, he didn't tell me
any
nothing.
explanation.
No.
When you came in, they called your name?
Yes,
They called your number?
Yes,
You showed your
I
identification card?
Yes.
And so you weren't allowed to vote then?
Yes, I vote.
But your vote isn't put in the regular ballot box?
That's right.
And they mark your finger?
Yes.
They mark your finger?
Yes.
That you voted?
Yes.
But your vote doesn't go in the regular box, and you were given no explanation whatsoever?
They didn't want to hear. They showed me the way to walk out.
And said they voted already.
They said you voted already?
Yes.
By proxy? You told me or how?
They said they voted and they never...
For an underdeveloped country, a remarkable number of Guyanese, 93%, can read and write. The interest in politics is also intense, and the right to vote, so long demanded before independence, seems highly valued.
Yeah, they said they voted already.
And you did not vote already?
No, I never voted yet. They didn't even sign the paper.
And as soon as I enter, the young lady that is there asked me my name, and I told her when she do, she find it in the list. She said, you cannot vote now no more because you vote by postage. I said, what? Postage by what I now cross? And they tell me that I vote as postage. The sergeant has some paper in his hand. He said, this is only police paper. And after he told me that I got to turn away, they have the inspector sit down side of him. He called me twice, and I stepped. I said, what you call me for? He said, come and tell me who you're voting for. I take back 2 steps, and I did not afraid to tell him, Frank, I'm voting for Teddy. Then he called me and I walked right out. I said, no time for you. And I walked right out and I fetch a car and I come at the Freedom House.
You voted?
I voted.
You went to vote?
Yes,
This is your ID card. You went to vote and they said someone had voted for you at 6:30 a.m. You have a march on what street? Wellington Street. Why don't you get your ID card too? Get your ID. You didn't sign any paper?
No.
You didn't sign proxy?
No.
You didn't sign postal vote? No. You didn't sign any paper? How many times you voted before in the other elections? You voted in many, I know you from years. You voted here, 1968?
I vote in a street called Main Street when I used to live in New Market Street. I always vote.
But in the last elections you voted the same place, and this time you were refused to vote. They refused to allow you.
You can't come and tell me somebody vote for me.
YouTubers seem to seek out a specific type of class of Guyanese to show the world, not the entire 360. That represents, that's really Guyana, that there's also educated Guyanese, which is pretty sad, to be honest.
So this past weekend, I just got back from 4 days out in the field with the Army. From last week Thursday to Sunday, battle assembly, boots on, no breaks. And during that weekend, somewhere between the exhaustion and the camaraderie with my fellow soldiers, I had the thought that this is going to be one of my last times doing this, because this summer of 2026, I'm getting out of the Army. And my relationship with the Army and the journey started 6 years ago. Back in 2020, when I moved to America during the summer, I left from Guyana, which was one of the poorest countries in the Western world at the time. And I came here for a shot at something bigger. I had a bachelor's in pharmacy, I had a green card, and I had no idea what was going to come next. And drama hit me from the time that I landed, because I realized very quickly that my bachelor's in pharmacy was getting me nowhere to practice as a pharmacist here. Not because the degree is not real or fake or anything like that, but just because now you require a PharmD, a doctorate in pharmacy, not just a bachelor's, in order to become a licensed pharmacist. And that doctorate requires 4 more years of school, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. And for me, coming here as a new person, that didn't seem reasonable. So I did what I always do when I hit a wall. I found another door and I walked through it fast. So within my first month of moving to America back in 2020, I walked into Army recruiter's office and they told me I'll get citizenship, I'll get education benefits, and they painted a path forward that was really enticing to me. I was sold. I signed my life away for 6 years of service to this country, and I'm very proud of the fact that I did that. But being in the Army, in the reserves, not active duty, is challenging in a different way, where it quietly pulls away at your family time, your relationships, your civilian career, your mental bandwidth. And it demands patience and resilience that's hard to explain to someone who hasn't lived through it. And for someone wired the way that I am, always chasing growth and what's next, there are genuine moments where the Army felt like a ceiling that I was running into. And although I am proud of the fact that I served this country, I'm also allowed to be honest, and honestly, I'm ready for what's next. So this summer, I put on a uniform for the last time, and the immigrant from 6 years ago that bet on himself when he just landed, he's still betting. I'm super excited. God bless.
My name is Mike Ram, based here in the U.S. in Washington, born in Guyana, in Grove, East Bank. Just came back from Grove. Tell you what, this program was well put together by the team of associates here, well executed. My first impression was wonderful. Facilities is good, great environment. Networking is one of the best here. Everyone is open up to Guyana and see what Guyana's got to offer. I think we're moving in the right direction. As I just came back Wednesday, I can tell you my experience was very, very, very good. I was driving local there. I was able to obtain my passport, my new ID card, my birth certificate, my tint number, everything. The process was so easy. Not to forget the airport. Checking at the airport and leaving the airport, it was very easy. State-of-the-art equipment. I should thank the president and the government of Guyana. The airport was clean, starting from the restroom to the lobby. Very impressed. I was very impressed. The roads are getting better. Our driving experience is getting better. Things will get better. I will encourage our local Guyanese from overseas, seek interest to Guyana. You don't have to stay there, but put your name in there. Try to open up something and help develop Guyana. Our locals need help and assistance. It has to come from us because they cannot afford some of the business that's going on there. But if we go back with good heart and good mind, I think we'll help them a lot.
That's actually what I was about to ask you. Like, given your experience here in the U.S. as a diaspora, having attended the forum, how would you encourage other Guyanese who are in the diaspora to get involved?
Well, first I should say you have to put yourself in front. You have to move forward. You have to be that person that is driven. You cannot wait for things to come to you. You have to approach the local government. You have to approach the local content. The opportunity is there. You have to make yourself available. Like MP Ramsrud said, you just cannot be here and want to invest there. You have to show up. You have to go there. The support is there. I'm going to share a little story with this ID card here. I was born in Georgetown Hospital, Guyana, and I'm serving Georgetown University Hospital, and that's a blessing. From where I came from in life and achieved this, 35 years, I would like to come back to Guyana and serve Guyana and make things well. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm currently a senior in college. My mom actually pushed me to apply for Hapa because she knows Andy King, and she pushed me to do it, and I ended up getting the scholarship, and I went to University of South Florida, and it's been a really great experience. Thank you so much. I've met so much people since then. I've joined programs, organizations. I'm part of the Guyanese Student Association at USF, and I am actually the secretary right now, but I started off as social chair. In these 2 years I've had at University of South Florida, I've done so much, and I'm already going to graduate in December, so it's a little bittersweet, but I'm really happy with what I've done so far. I've been on Dean's List multiple times. You know, those one semesters get you every once in a while, it's okay.
Kudos!
Yeah.
The GT man, that is it. But thank you, and all the best, continued success in your journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And any kind of encouragement while I have you, to other young people, whether it be young Guyanese, Trini, Jamaican, just of Caribbean heritage, about the importance of organizations like this. Talk about what it means for you.
Okay, so actually I am really passionate about this, and that's kind of why I joined the Guyanese Student Association. You don't have to be, I'm also in the Caribbean Student Association of Florida, so the FCSA, and when I tell you the experiences and the memories I've had with this group was so amazing. I loved engaging in my Caribbean heritage, and being part of like organizations like this gives you connections, you know what I mean? I met students through this scholarship, and then from then we've known each other in FCSA, we've partied together, we've studied together, you know what I mean? These are really great experiences, and I suggest that Caribbean students do reach out and try to engage with their heritage, while also, you know, doing regular school stuff, you know what I mean? You can go to university and still engage in your heritage, and I just hope people are proud of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And all the best. Continued success in your journey.
Thank you.
It's a job, and I really loved it.
Tell me, what's your name?
Damien.
Damien. Oh, Damien, not
Yeah.
Daniel. Damien. Damien what?
Damien John.
Okay, and you are here with Savannah Tours Guyana.
Yes.
And I understand you're a 17-year-old experienced tour guide.
Yes.
So Damien, tell me about your tour guide experience.
Well, tour guide is a job I do.
Yes.
And I love it very much.
With here at ATV Tours.
Yes,
Guyana.
with ATV.
Savannah Tours.
Savannah Tours.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, what do you think Shane was talking about when he said to tell us a little bit about your experience?
Like the experience what I think with customers and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, when you come on tour, make sure the customer enjoy themselves.
Right.
That's one of the main things you focus on.
Right.
In tour guiding.
Because you are the guy who are actually
Yes.
bringing us on this tour today.
Yes.
What's the distance that we drove?
Well, I can't really tell you exactly distance, because I know it myself.
You know it yourself.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
For 2 years now.
2 years. So you started with Shane.
Yes.
Okay, and so over the 2 years, the experiences that you've had, you've become quite the expert.
Yes.
At providing the tours. Is it just ATV?
Yes, ATV only.
Okay, and any other off-road vehicles?
No.
Okay.
Only
Awesome,
ATV.
awesome, and you enjoy it.
Yes, I enjoy it a lot, and I really love it.
Thank you, and it shows because you have
Yes.
ensured that we've had a great
Yeah,
experience.
yes.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Yes,
Big up
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
All right.
Chinese people have been part of Guyana's history for more than 170 years. The first organized group of Chinese indentured laborers arrived in British Guyana in 1853, mainly to work on sugar plantations after the abolition of slavery created a demand for plantation labor. Over the following decades, thousands of Chinese immigrants arrived, many originating from southern China. Although they initially came under the indentureship system, many Chinese Guyanese eventually left plantation work and became involved in shopkeeping, commerce, restaurants, rum shops, import business, and other trades. Their descendants became one of the recognized peoples who helped shape Guyana's multicultural society. Now, my grandfather's story was a little different. My grandfather came directly from China in 1911, long after the main period of Chinese indentured immigration to British Guyana had ended. He therefore should not automatically be described as one of the Chinese indentured laborers who were brought to work on sugar plantations decades earlier. He came during a later period of Chinese migration when Chinese people could arrive through family, commercial, and independent migration networks rather than through the old plantation indentured system. That distinction is important to my family's history. My grandfather was Chinese born, coming from what was then called Canton, were Cantonese, descent. Anyways, by then when he arrived in 1911, an established Chinese Guyanese community already existed in the colony. So there were really different chapters to Chinese, the Chinese story in Guyana. He met my grandmother, who he married. He actually had a wife in China. He left and he had a daughter in China. When he left, don't know much about that, but I do know that is reality and true. He had escaped China, I know, because his brothers and parents were killed. I do know that part in China. Anyways, my grandmother on the other side, she was half Chinese, so she was half Chinese Guyanese and half Indian. So, of course, they started a family, hence my dad and his siblings. And they also operated a very successful, and they were considered back in those days to be, a prominent family. Now, some people claim that Guyana does not have racism. I've seen that, where they blatantly say, no, there's no racism in Guyana, or that Chinese Guyanese people never experienced racism or ethnic discrimination. That is simply too broad a claim to make about a country with such a complicated racial, ethnic, and political history. I was recently told by this well-known American black YouTuber who had been paid to visit Guyana, and was also, when he was, welcomed, or like I said, he was invited to go to Guyana to make a video. So he was accompanied by an Afro-Guyanese tour guide and presented what he had been told during that visit, as though it settled the history of Guyanese race and relations, from what the Afro tour guide told him. He told me that it was only between the Indo and the Afro-Guyanese that were affected. Well, I could tell him that a lot of Portuguese and Chinese Guyanese would also tell him this is not true. But visiting a country as a guest is very different from growing up there, raising a family there or living through its most turbulent periods. I myself can't say that I've experienced it, but I have all the information from not only my parents, but their friends that they, met, that I met when I was a little kid, who were across all the races of Guyanese, talking about it. And they talked about it a lot. I was even told that they spent, this YouTuber spent their nights partying. That's fine as a tourist experience, but let's have a reality check. Partying all night is not a representation of everyday life, nor does it show experiencing, you can't experience nightlife and then say that is the Guyanese daily culture. Or have a tour guide make someone an authority on generations of Guyanese history. What particularly bothered me was being told that the racial conflict during my parents' generation was essentially an issue between Indo-Guyanese and Afro-Guyanese, and that Chinese weren't affected. That erases other people's experiences. Guyana's political history certainly includes an extremely important and painful, Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese divide, particularly during the political, upheavals of the 60s and afterwards. But acknowledging that history does not require pretending that Chinese, Portuguese, indigenous, mixed race, or other Guyanese people could not experience prejudice, discrimination, insecurity, or racial tension as well is just ridiculous. Most importantly, neither a foreign visitor nor someone from a later generation gets to tell my family what my parents' generation personally experienced, nor do they, get to say what other people from that generation experience. My parents lived in that era, so did their friends who came from across, like I said, different ethnic communities there. Their memoirs are firsthand testimonies from people who were actually there. Those experiences deserve to be heard, documented, and you know what? Guyana will never heal if it doesn't face its past and learn to accept each other. Basically simple. You have to face reality and confront it in order to heal.
Those controversial or contentious points and share some insights into this rapid increase or rise of Chinese supermarkets across Guyana. One of the first opinions or comments that really stood out to me were the ones that went something like, "But the Guyanese need to understand that Chinese are also Guyanese. These people are one of the 6 peoples, so we should be applauding their success. They're opening businesses all over the country. This is impressive." To those people who made comments like that and those who share those thoughts, I have to send you a resounding no. These Chinese are not the original Guyanese Chinese, referring to those that came during the period of indentureship. These Chinese are relatively recent immigrants from mainland China. Ironically, they're an immigrant group that may get less media and social media attention than those like the Haitians and Venezuelans or even from other Caribbean islands, simply because they may not be perceived in as problematic a manner as you see with Venezuelans or with Haitians. As a result, we're in the situation we see today, where it seems like they've had an overnight takeover of the retail industry.
Now, I would love to meet this guy and have a debate with him. Sorry, dude, you are a racist. Plain and simple. Yet, when the French guy was attacked in Guyana, there's a video where he's really upset with that. Dude, you're a racist, okay? Don't tell me about the flag, about Guyanese. You're just a racist. Truth be told, anybody, I don't care their race, religious creed, when visiting a country, everybody deserves respect. When visiting, migrating, you all deserve to give each other respect that you would want to be given. Everybody, basically in Guyana, would be an immigrant, wouldn't they? No matter if you're brought as a slave or anything, unless you're Amerindian. So think about that. So a while ago, I actually had a debate with this woman it was Alex Power, since he's a English Guyanese who was born, raised till he was 12 years old in Guyana and then left for Australia and then has recently come back. And it's funny because I've seen Guyanese saying, well, he's white, he's not Guyanese. Well, he is. But anyways, this woman, because he holds these business things, seminars, she was complaining about the Chinese, also grocery stores, saying that the food is poisoned. They're poisoning us. So I can't remember the comment I made to her, but I remember she went back and she claimed to me that she can't open a business. Yeah, you can open a business. Everybody can open a business. There's an opportunity there, right? My grandfather didn't have money, given to him to open his business. He worked, got money, saved, and opened his business. I've never heard of anybody saying, well, I want to open a business, but it's up to everybody else to pay for my business to open. But when she was talking about the poisoning, she feels that the food in Chinese grocery stores are actually poisoning Guyanese. I asked her, which products are you claiming are poisoning Guyanese? Because I've seen many of those products in stores in Toronto. There's also a supermarket which is not Guyanese called Survival, which I went to on the first trip, and they have the same products. Now, let's talk about Steely Peterson, who won a historical Taekwondo bronze for Guyana. I mean, and you look, I've seen a few of these, but I'll just post one. What's this silly guy saying? Isn't she white? Yeah, her parents are of Guyanese Portuguese descent, making her, like many of my cousins and many other people who claim Guyanese descent from their parents, like even in Canada, you'll have someone born in Canada, but their parents are Italian, and they'll say they're Italian Canadian. What is wrong with that? Why is there a difference? And people should be proud because historically she beat Venezuela. So that's awesome. And if you know the whole thing with Venezuela and Guyana, you will see why she should be celebrated for the victory. She is, like I said, she does have Guyanese heritage. She, as ChatGPT placed it, she isn't simply a foreign athlete competing for Guyana. Peterson is Canada-based, but she explained it way back in the 2023 Pan American Games. My mom's parents are both born and raised there. So both of her maternal grandparents were born and raised in Guyana, making her Guyanese by descent through her mother's side. And she's represented Guyana internationally for several years. And in July 26, she won a bronze in the women's under 49 kilogram Taekwondo event. So, but yet people I see YouTubers, and there's a few of them that I could list, who go and, they're celebrated, they're white, and they're like, I could name off names, and they're like, we are the first white people in Guyana, and woo! I mean, it was funny, there's this one who went, and the guy who was talking to him in the market was Portuguese Guyanese. What a really heavy Guyanese accent. And what does he say? Oh, you're white like me. What are you doing in Guyana? Okay, sorry people, but those are the YouTubers that you are praising, who, instead of showing that Guyanese people are also intellectuals, have achieved a lot of, greatness, and I could go on. You guys are applauding the ones who, for their YouTube channel, who want likes and comments so they could get monetized. To basically say Guyana is a country of thugs, and they make Guyanese people seem really uneducated. Sorry, but that's the truth. She is absolutely not. And if you're talking about a singer that's actually born in Guyana who achieved major international fame, that would be hands down Eddie Grant, who's number one with that. And he's best known for Electric Avenue. And I think many people know that.
It's who I am, it's who I am, yeah. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Come on, come on. I am a Guyanese, I am a Guyanese. No matter where I be, I am a Guyanese. I ain't leaving you a say, I ain't leaving you a say, I ain't leaving you a say, I say, I am a Guyanese. It don't matter where I be, I'm proud as to be me. I'll always represent, I'm always Guyanese. In every party, inside of the fete, country people overseas, never deny your Guyanese. In the morning, in the evening, in the day, in the night, I tell you, anywhere I go, I got my flag, my GT flag, yeah. I am a Guyanese, I am a Guyanese. No matter where I be, I am a Guyanese. I ain't leaving you a say, Guyanese, I am a Guyanese. I ain't leaving you a say, I am a Guyanese. 6 away in this country, 6 away in harmony. The 6 away, 6 away, the 6 away, 6 away. In every party I reppin', inside of the fete I reppin'. Country people overseas, never deny your Guyanese. In the morning, in the evening, in the day, in the night, I tell you, anywhere I go I got my flag, my GT flag, yeah. I am a Guyanese, I am a Guyanese. No matter where I be, I am a Guyanese. I ain't leaving you a say, Guyanese, I am a Guyanese. No matter where I be, I am a Guyanese. Let me see you put flags up in the air, flags up in the air, something in the air, something in the air, in the air, in the air. Let me see you put flags up in the air, flags up in the air, something in the air, something in the air. Na 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 na. Guyana, I love 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 Guyana. We are one people, one nation, one destiny. One people, one nation, one destiny. Yeah. I am a Guyanese, I am a Guyanese. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Put your hands
When we were young, it was British, yeah, ruled by the British. But after a while, it became independent, and then the problems started.
Tell me a bit more about what it was like having the British in Guyana.
Oh, I didn't remember so much about it. All I know when we go to school and say it was different.
Like it, hate it, comment on it, and follow along and harass me so I can comment back and sass you. Well, after coming back, I accidentally deleted more than half my videos. I wanted to kill myself, trust me. Totally my fault. So follow along because I'll be putting together some videos of my experiences from my last trip, which some clips and videos I managed to salvage because they were actually done on my cell phone and not my Sony cam or the DJI. And I'll also be sharing what I think has changed even in just 6 months between my visits, my experiences at Jetty Jargon Airport, and definitely my review on Caribbean Airlines. I also have some exciting news about ways I plan to help people in Guyana. One thing I learned on my first trip, which surprised me, and I honestly didn't realize that the Chinese food that my grandfather cooked when I was growing up wasn't Guyanese Chinese food, but Cantonese food. It's also not the type of food that my grandfather cooked that you would see in Western Chinese restaurants in Canada or the USA. I didn't even know the English name soya sauce until I was about 17 because growing up, we just called it xiao. That was just normal in our house. So every once in a while, I'm also going to cook some of, my favorite dishes that my dad taught me while I was growing up. Dishes that came from my grandfather just before he passed away. So it's not Western style Chinese food or Guyanese, Chinese cuisine. It's going to be Cantonese cuisine, passed down to me. Even some of my cousins, honestly, who have never been to Guyana, I was talking to one of my cousins not too long ago. They don't completely understand what it's like because they have this view from our family, so they also don't realize it's a very different era. But anyways, so there will be travel, food, and a lot of chaos because chaos follows me, and hopefully some ways of giving back along the way that I'll show and speak to you about. So follow along. Anyways, I am gonna end this here, but here's a very old video that, you know what, because I have been very serious I think I've been a little bit too serious, but that's probably some of my mom coming out in me because she was a teacher and, I was taught to think and analyze. So, I know it's a little bit serious, but, so I'm going to add this in. So, a little sense of humor here. Okay, so welcome to Sandro's Christmas lottery giveaway. And his assistant, Nicoletta, who right now has his sister, who right now has a lot of candy in her mouth. Okay, so Sandro did get his DNA results early, a lot earlier than we expected, and we'll share it with you later.
Wake him up.
Okay, and What are you doing, Nicoletta?
Okay, let's go. Okay.
We're not sure what's going on now.
We are not sure what's going on.
No, wait. Hey, this is my lottery. It's pretty quite interesting.
Okay, so Sandro,
Yeah?
what we're gonna do is when you hold up the names,
Yes.
okay, I need you to hold them so I could have the camera zoom on the names so we could assure everybody that, you know, their names are in there and it's not a compromised lottery. Although Sandro is rooting for Cindy, we have to make sure that we are being fair here. Okay, ready? You don't. Okay, first name.
Tia.
Okay, don't show it too close, or else.
Tia.
Hold on.
I see rock in the back.
Okay, you can sit back up. You gotta breathe so close to me that I can't focus if you do that. Hold on, keep her holding. Okay, Lori.
Mario.
Okay.
Cindy. Sophia. Sophia? Like Sophia.
Like Sophia the First.
Sophia. Yeah, they used to be the Sophia. Nicholas, say it.
Yes, I remember Sophia the First. Hold on a second. Did I put everybody's name in there? How many is it? I think
we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so shake it.
Shake it.
Okay, stop.
Sydney! Sydney! Sydney!
Hold on a second. We're gonna have to let's review. Did you look at any time?
No, I did not look. I didn't look. I looked away. I grabbed it, but then I saw I grabbed two, so I let one go, and that is Sydney.
Okay, because I did see you grab two and let one go. I just wanted to make sure you weren't, you know. Okay, so Cindy gets one. Woohoo! Yay, Cindy! Hi! Sandra has me wanting you to win. Okay, so the second one. We're actually giving away how many of them?
4. 4!
Are you going to be selling your Christmas presents?
No, two. Let's stop.
Okay, so let's shake them again. Who's picking the name?
Here, this time.
Okay, you shake it, Sandro. Hold on, Sandro's just gonna shake it.
Stop! Everyone stop!
Don't look!
Look away! Lori!
Oh my God, Lori actually really wanted to win too. What's that for?
What, did you want it to be Mariel or Sophia? What? She wants you want a treat? I wanted to say it.
You wanted to say it?
But you didn't know how to say it.
But you didn't know how to say it.
Let's whisper it.
Okay, here. You can say her name.
Cindy.
Okay, Cindy, but the one you chose is... The one you chose.
She's the one you chose.
Who's the one you chose? This is her name. Cindy was your bus driver, but who's the name that you picked?
Well, Corey.
Okay, Nicolette, sit up and say the name. Lori. Okay, so Cindy and Lori won, and they're gonna have to message me their addresses, and we will have it sent to them. So Sandro, you're say Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas. And we're out of